Chicago was once called the city that works, a city of steel, railroads, factories, unions, neighborhoods, churches, corner stores, and workers who believed that hard work could build a future. But Chicago is also a city haunted by its contradictions, a city of extraordinary wealth and extraordinary abandonment, a tale of two cities. Downtown towers rise into the sky while entire neighborhoods continue fighting disinvestment, violence, failing infrastructure, and economic isolation. And perhaps nowhere is the contradiction more visible than on the south and west sides of Chicago. The story stretches back generations. Under Mayor Richard J. Daley, Chicago operated through machine politics, patronage networks, and centralized power. Supporters saw Daley as a builder. The city expanded expressways, public infrastructure, schools, downtown development, and massive construction projects. Chicago projected strength. Factories roared across the city. Union labor built the middle class. Entire neighborhoods revolved around stable industrial jobs. For many working class families, Chicago represented opportunity. But the Daley era also carried deep controversy when he told Chicago police officers to shoot to kill during the 1968 Democratic Convention protests. Chicago became nationally known for violent confrontations between protesters and police, resulting in over 500 protesters being injured, including 152 police officers. And while parts of Chicago experienced investment and growth, many black neighborhoods on the south side, the black metropolis, continued facing segregation, redlining, economic exclusion, and long-term divestment. The historic black metropolis that once produced businesses, musicians, intellectuals, churches, and the cultural institutions slowly entered decline as industry disappeared and investment fled. Factories closed, jobs vanished, and entire communities were trying to survive economic transformation with fewer opportunities than previous generations. At the same time, Chicago public schools struggled to maintain student populations as families increasingly left the city. Some fled high taxes, others fled violence, others searched for affordable housing, stronger schools, or economic stability elsewhere. An exodus slowly emerged, and as residents left, trust in institutions weakened further. Many taxpayers began asking difficult questions. Where did the money go? Why do taxes continue rising while infrastructure still struggles? Why are neighborhoods still filled with abandoned homes, liquor stores, gambling advertisements, and failing commercial corridors? Why do so many residents feel invisible inside one of America's largest cities? Meanwhile, violence became normalized in many communities. In some neighborhoods, gangs continued exercising influence over streets long after the collapse of industrial jobs. For many young people, survival replaced opportunity, and sociologists often warn that environments shape behavior. When children grow up surrounded by instability, abandoned buildings, trauma, addiction, underfunded schools, and normalized violence, the consequences spread across generations. But perhaps the deeper question is not simply what went wrong. Perhaps the real question is, what would rebuilding actually require? Some argue Chicago must return to a builder mentality, not merely managing decline, but rebuilding communities physically and economically. Chicago currently faces a shortage of more than 100,000 affordable housing units. At the same time, over 400,000 aging lead water pipes still remain beneath the city. And perhaps these crises could become opportunities. What if impoverished communities were not simply treated as recipients of aid, but as participants in rebuilding the city itself? What if vocational programs aggressively trained residents in plumbing, electrical work, construction, pipe replacement, carpentry, HVAC systems, and rehabilitation trades? What if young people learned skills that directly rebuilt their own neighborhoods? Abandoned homes could be restored into affordable housing. Lead pipes could be replaced in each residential block. Trades could create careers rather than create dependency. And investment could circulate back into struggling communities rather than permanently leaving them. Others argue that rebuilding trust also requires confronting corruption and financial mismanagement. More honestly, for decades, Illinois politics has carried a reputation for patronage systems, insider networks, and misuse of public resources. And many residents increasingly believe independent oversight is necessary. Some propose independent financial review authorities that monitor state and city spending transparently, outside direct political control. Because when taxpayers lose trust in institutions, social cohesion weakens with it. And perhaps restoring faith requires transparency, accountability, and merit-based systems that reward competence rather than political loyalty. At the same time, many residents question why struggling neighborhoods remain saturated with liquor stores, gambling systems, and lottery advertisements. Critics argue that too many industries profit from desperation instead of development. And many communities increasingly ask, why are unhealthy systems concentrated most heavily in neighborhoods already fighting poverty? Because while billion-dollar developments dominate political headlines, many residents simply want safer streets, functioning schools, affordable housing, clean water, and real opportunities for their children. And perhaps that is the central question facing Chicago. Can the city rebuild human dignity alongside physical infrastructure? Can working-class communities still survive the pressures of modern urban life? Can investment reach neighborhoods long abandoned by economic power? Can ordinary residents trust institutions again? Chicago may be one of America's case studies on not what to do, but how we learn from the past and apply it to our future. But perhaps it could also become an example of reconstruction, not through slogans, not through political theater, but through rebuilding communities block by block, pipe by pipe, home by home, job by job, and generation by generation. Thank you. If this video made you think about how we can make Chicago the city of big shoulders, I challenge you to comment below with your ideas for making Chicago a better place for all. Please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, and remember, sharing is caring. Thank you again for your valuable time.